Um, we got maybe it stormed. I can't remember what day it stormed because it was like there were storms all around us. Like my mom got seven 7 inches of rain in like 24 hours, but
Yeah,
we got very little and we lived
interesting.
30 minutes apart. Um, it was raining birdies on the golf course on Friday. I was telling
Ayo.
I was telling the team that I had my best round ever on Friday, and
Oh, really?
it was so hot. Yeah, I had my best round ever, and Carol's a really good golfer, and I beat her by 9 strokes.
Whoa. What are you feeling? I've
Yeah,
only golfed once so far this season. It's just been too hot. And
yeah,
the days that I could do it, it's too hot.
yeah. I love it. Then we golfed Sunday, and then we got so our like weather forecast said no rain Sunday until 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening.
Hmm.
We get through the first hole, torrential downpour for 45 minutes. We like sat under a tree and still got wet.
Oh, God. Well, at least it wasn't lightning that kick you off the course.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not even sure that our course has the horn. Like, isn't it? Shouldn't it be a rule? Like you have. I've never heard them blow the horn.
Oh, I think there is at mine.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
know.
surely you have to because like I don't know people's safety maybe. So
Liability?
yeah, you would think. All right. We'll give people a few more seconds and then we will get started.
Oh.
Attendance is trickling in.
Hey, Brad, I responded, but I did it to the host and panelists, but not to everyone. So, hey.
The chat always throws me off.
Oh, hey, Ginger. Ginger and I work together.
Well, I don't know about powerhouses, but I think you'll be entertained for the next 30 minutes.
Bridge houses or
All right, welcome to the SIP. This is a space where conversation fuels connection, where collaboration drives innovation, and where industry leaders come together to work through challenges that matter most, just like catching up over coffee, or as Tracy and I would do, likely a martini or a glass of
oh, that too.
champagne.
Or Diet Coke, yeah.
The SIP is about real talk and the things that move the industry forward. I hope everyone had a nice holiday weekend. I extended that and was off yesterday, so I feel like I'm playing a little bit of catch up today. But thank you all for taking the time to join the SIP. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Advantage Partner Solution, and I couldn't be more excited about today's guest because she is someone whose name comes up constantly when people are talking about relationships in the industry and about what it means to actually show up for your partners. It's also in the name of her company, Partners. Joining me is Tracey King, the Chief Operating Officer at Advantage Partner Solutions. Tracey is also sits on our TMC Partner Advisory Board and is an active member of the TMC Advocacy Committee. So she wears many hats in our community, and we're really excited to have her. Tracey, welcome to the SIP.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And, as always, you're one of my favorite ladies in life and in work. So this will be fun.
Thank you. So I spelled Tracy's name wrong throughout the entire talk track. And we
Hmm.
decided that the reason that it happened was not because of AI, but because I rarely call her Tracy and I call her brown-haired Crystal because one of my dearest friends is Crystal and they have a very similar sarcastic personality that I love so much. So
Perfect.
um, so Tracy, I know I don't do not say this because you're sitting here because you're one of my good friends in the industry. I say it because it's true. Every time your name comes up in the room, your reputation in the industry isn't just about what you have built, it's also about how you make people feel in the room. And that is a rare trait. And knowing you, it's not an act because you're incapable of pretending or filtering your facial reactions. So
My
it
face
comes
is sweating now with the compliments. So thanks. I got the sweat mustache.
Yeah, yeah. That's the sarcasm comes out immediately. And so the answer when someone gives you a compliment is thank you.
Thank you.
Can
It
you
does
take
mean a
it?
lot, especially coming from someone I really do care about. But yes, it makes me squirm and things happen.
Yeah. So before we get into business, we have a place to start, which is with your girls. So
Yeah.
I hear Adele has quite the competitive streak on the volleyball court. So I
Yeah.
was prompted to ask you to describe it.
Well, we just got back a couple weeks ago from the Hot Box of Orlando for her national volleyball tournament where she and what felt like 100,000 other 14-year-old volleyball players came. But yeah, she's a natural athlete and hasn't been doing volleyball for that long. So now it's kind of going beyond what comes natural to her and she has to try and go for it. And it's a cool thing to watch when your kid doesn't complain about waking up early because they love something, but it's also hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really fun. I've been trying to not be, I'm a good mom on the sideline. I don't say like negative stuff, but I do get excited and I've been told to like simmer down. So I get a look. She's good at the side eye too. Her face doesn't hide her feelings.
She inherited she
Yeah,
inherited the facial
yeah, yeah, yeah,
expressions.
yeah.
Well, I love that because strong work ethic tends to run in the family, and it's not any
Yeah,
different with all of you. Or competitiveness, not that you're competitive at all, but I know you're a really proud mama. And then
I am.
Quinn, she and I share our love of horses, and I know from experiencing the sport has built a different kind of discipline and toughness, a quiet kind.
Yes.
So what's Quinn up to this summer?
Quinn has opted to only do horsing around this summer. So I have enrolled her in all of the horse camps, which are basically like the same camp, just different times of the summer, but that she just keeps repeating.
Yeah.
And she would live at the barn if she could. But for me, it's been awesome because she's kind of my quiet introvert that struggled as she wanted to do sports, but it's just not a lot of it wasn't for her, and she connects to horses in a way that's pretty awe-inspiring and getting that confidence that I knew was in her, but it just developed in a different way. So, yeah, it's whatever it takes. I mean, my pocketbook hates me because both my kids love sports that just, I mean, I know everyone feels it that has someone in a club sport or anything like that,
Yeah.
but yeah, to watch them have that and to have it for themselves is, the greatest thing. And yes, I'm obsessed with my girls and everything is
Yeah.
for them. So,
Well, I'm sure with their competitiveness and the discipline that's created both in sports, and I think even more so with horses, I think
yes.
that they'll probably be off of your payroll faster than most kids.
Although I'm going to talk to you. Yeah. I once made the mistake of telling Quinn that I have a friend that has horses. And so she always brings you up like, hey, you said one day we were going to go to Ohio. So she'll still
Yeah.
bring it up. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets a little bit older. She'll be living in the garage in the summer, being a
Yeah.
farmhand.
Yes, she will. This is true.
That is awesome. And what a great way to kick things off. And that's exactly why I love catching up with you because business and family are in the same breath as they should be.
Yeah.
And that is, they are mutual in love. So I love that out of you. And we'll jump into the heart of why we're here, although I would love to talk about horses and
Yeah, we could just do
volleyball
horses the
and
whole time. Yeah.
all of the things. But let's start with something every lender in the audience feels every single day, and the conversation that's not going away, but the cost to originate a loan. You have watched this a number of moves over the course of your career, and I don't think you can talk about it without talking about integration in the same breath. So put it together for us. Where are we today on cost, and why does integration matter so much more than simply having tools?
Well, being in the credit world, no one ever talks to me about
We were going
cost.
to bring that up, but okay.
No, but I mean it is a huge part of it. I think that what we've seen throughout the last few years is especially that we're talking about doing more with less, but at the same time, there's so many things that are pulling our attention that is saying like we can do that for you. Um, and I think what you bring up a really big and good point is the integration piece of it because I think where we are getting a lot of hangups is there are so many different things out there right now that can be of use, but a key piece I think we're missing often is the integration piece and how it works with what you already have that exists and you don't want to turn your employees into the integration piece. It has to be layered on top of it. A good friend of mine, I was talking to her about a product and seeing how she felt about it. She works for an LOS company and she gave the word co-op, I wrote it down, co-opetition. No, where it's like a competitor, but it's also like a co-op on top of it because co-opetition, there I said it. But that's important. It's how we're layering things versus working against each other. And then also the key piece is understanding if something's existing out there right now and you feel like you have to have it, it will ultimately come, but you need to look at the space of what do you have that exists currently and how can you optimize that and work towards that integration and how can you deliver these pieces together rather than having really great tools that are separated and causing a flow issue within your organization or hiccups where you get really excited and you get in this process of wanting to implement something and realize that it doesn't connect to other key components in your operation. So I see that more than I'd like sometimes, where that's the last thing they like, oh, right, do you integrate with this?
Yeah.
And oh, well, we've already signed the contract. Oh, we've already done this. And that's where things get pretty complicated.
Yeah, I have seen this a number of times, and I think like before we had so much business as lenders that we didn't know what to do with it. So we just layered technology on top of technology and didn't even think about integrations and what worked well together, or even if some of our existing vendors had solutions. So we didn't have
Yeah.
to try to do integrations. And so it's like, then we shifted to, all right, let's throw everyone out. And now I feel like lenders are now like, okay, we have stripped down our tech stack and we're going to rebuild, but this is what we're leading with. And people are asking the right questions. But what does it actually look like when lenders get both of these right with the technology and the integration into systems?
I mean, I think honestly, if it's being done right, it feels almost invisible. It's not this feeling of having to connect the dots. It should be, everyone's like keywords are like it's seamless. It flows, all of this. But the people that are actually doing the day to day, it should feel
Yeah,
invisible. It should be able to connect in a way that makes sense and it's not them having to run down the list of like I said, but your people shouldn't be the integration. And, kind of to your point of what you were saying a moment ago, a lot of times the people that you're working with, whatever it may look like, may have something on their radar, but they haven't started because maybe their customer doesn't have interest yet or it hasn't been brought to the table. A lot of times things are existing and can exist within your own operational space if you just have the conversation. And I think
yeah,
that's really key to all of this is it's not like, well, they've got that over there. Yeah, it could be on someone else's radar. It's just not their
yeah,
number one selling point. But there are ways to introduce it into your flow that already exists. And the change
yeah.
management that is so difficult and tricky that oftentimes what you're saving, you're spending somewhere else on trying to adopt
Yeah.
and do all these things.
Yeah. And by no stretch of the imagination telling people to stop innovating and
Oh
trying to
God, no.
integrate things because it's like when things get complicated, people stop. And it's like, no, you have to keep going forward to keep yourself viable. Another good friend of mine, Christy Sukumnet, she once said that the best technology is the technology that no one talks about. And
Mhm.
the first time that I repeated that back to, I think it was a point of sale provider, they were offended. They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "No, you don't understand. It's my head of technology was always at Nationwide Mortgage Bankers was like, you got to feed them their veggies and their milkshakes, and that's kind of how
Uh-huh.
well integrated technology works. Like no one's talking about it, what good, bad, or indifferent. They just aren't talking about it, and it's because you've successfully fed them their veggies inside of their
Right.
milkshake.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and
So
talking about it is key. You have to be innovating all the time, but it is difficult in the industry where it's constantly changing and evolving, especially on the tech side of keeping up of what needs to be, what needs to be the right now and what's on the roadmap. And I think a lot of us have that challenge of just because one person heard something, okay, do we stop this other project to build it? It's communicating and making sense. Does this really make sense for you? And kind of pausing, but moving forward at a way that you can make the flow actually work for your people.
And I know you love the buzzword, so we'll keep on the buzzword train. So, when we talk about AI adoption, what does it actually mean in function? Not the vision or the actual, what's the actual day-to-day look like?
I mean, I think it's different for everybody. People are probably in their own space. I think, I can speak personally that I everyone I've talked to has had a fit of starts and stops of the excitement of what it could potentially be and where we need to start. And I think for us and for me, the way that I'm seeing it truly function is kind of starting at a space of how do we enhance our existing employees' behavior or how they're handling their job. So, document review. Like reviewing conditions, looking at ways that we can speed up some processes and have another set of eyes on it and work in a way that makes our employees more efficient. I think starting there rather than trying to make it this all-encompassing part of everyone's day, but you also have to be looking at that. So I think it's starting small for a lot of people, integrating it into with your employees so that they know how to utilize it and not fear it. I know for us that's something that we're focusing on and rolling out slowly for different employees and seeing what actually makes sense for us. And the other key piece of it is and I know it's cliche, but it's knowing how to use it. I have some people where I'm like, I love that I see you're incorporating it, but it's all I see.
Yeah,
And the other portion is you're trusting it too much, where it's feeding you data, and I can tell that you just sent it to me. You still need it's supposed to enhance what you're doing. Thank God it could extract from that 20,000 line Excel, but now it's your job to go in and fact check. We still need that component for everything. And I
yeah,
think that's where we get caught up of we want to have it, want to utilize it. How are we putting, here's another word, guardrails around it, not only just for the function it's performing for, but for each employee that's utilizing it and touching it. So making sure that we're incorporating it in the right ways. And I think that's the piece that gets stopped. It's what's too
yeah,
much, what's too little, how are we QCing this? Those are
yeah,
all questions I know we're all looking for the answers to and making sure that we're doing it at the right pace
yeah,
even though it feels like, I mean, it's here now. We're all using it.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
effective and what's not.
There's a trust issue. Not even it's a trust. It's not even a trust issue. It's that people, decision makers at lenders are afraid to make decision on AI that exists today because it's changing so quickly.
Right.
And there's a fear of being too fast to a particular technology because it can easily, the second person who has the idea maybe using a different AI model, and then things are going to evolve even faster for them. So there's almost like this wait and see that I feel like is happening in the industry as well. And then at the fear of sounding like a pitch, TMC has started the AI Council, which I think is going to be hugely beneficial, not just to our lender members, but to our preferred partners is the group is trying to lay down what questions should you be asking vendors, where is the opportunity to use AI most effectively with the least amount of risk, and at the same time stay within compliance of what the agency requirements are coming from. So I think, and our hope is that doesn't just stick with our lender members, because it's a larger number of lender members than preferred partners, but our hope that that translates into our preferred partners being better partners for our lenders, because they know the questions that the lender members are going to ask. They know the guardrails that lender members are trying to stay within. So we're trying to give a ton of resources to lenders, but then we want to in turn give tons of resources to our preferred partners as well.
I know I'm excited about it. And I know you're talking to different people too. It's not just like internal discussions, it's looking out, it's talking to, Mismo, it's doing all the different
Yeah.
kinds of things and making sure that we have what we need internally to make sure you're making the right decision. So, yeah, it's a part where we want a seat at that table because those are things that are really crucial and important. And I think what we keep going back and, it's so weird that your name's collaboration. But hearing how other people are utilizing it, what's effective, what's not been, and how
Yeah.
do you, incorporate it into your day to day has been really crucial. And I think it's going to be more and more a part of the conversation. A lot of that is being truthful of like where some failures have been within it, of
Yeah,
like where has there
absolutely.
been hiccups, because that's where we really need to hone in rather than hoping the next iteration wouldn't have that kind of result.
Yep. Yeah, I think that I think you learn more from failure oftentimes than you do success,
Right.
because success you just move beyond and don't figure out how you got there to be successful. You move on to the next thing, and we all will fail sometimes, but I do think that that's crucial. And I think that we'll start seeing like regulators come out with stances that, and more lender members that are able to talk about those failures or things that they're seeing, the better off that we will be as an organization and also as an industry. And we are in alignment with MISMO and the MISMO framework that was set out, and in communication with Brian frequently. And same thing on the MBA side. And MBA is, pushing towards some of the same things that we are, to have uniformity in what the guidance is coming from the agencies. So we're not playing by multiple sets of rules. And
Right.
hopefully the agencies will get there and the states will adopt what is being put out by the agencies, as opposed to creating their own rules around AI. And then lenders are back to playing by, IMBs are then playing by 50 different state regulations and multiple different agency frameworks. So it's difficult to navigate, and I definitely wouldn't want to do it on my own.
No, because it is so fast. That's it too. It's like the fastest moving thing that we've incorporated into this glacial pace industry that we seem to be in. It's like the opposite. So,
Yeah, people are getting whiplash. So, Tracey, everything we just talked about, cost, integration, AI, it all sounds good in conversation like this one. But I think there's something that happens when you get the industry in the room together and
yeah.
replicate it on, then you can replicate on a call or a webinar. And that's exactly what we're doing at the Act Tech Summit. And why we built it. An Advantage Partner Solution is sponsoring our reception this year. So, thank you. So tell our audience why this event matters, both for vetting the technology and the conversation that happens with peers are all in a room together.
Yeah, I think it kind of sums up our entire conversation of where we started. Funny how you did it that way. But for myself as a vendor and for lenders that are being there, it is looking at how people are talking to each other. You can't operate in a silo environment where this is my space. It's important for everyone to see what is coming, and as we talked about before, how they're communicating and how they can feed off of each other versus having a new product over there that you need to incorporate into your everyday. So I'm excited. Personally, I always love the TMC conferences and meetings, and it's usually the same faces. We're bringing some new faces. This time we're on the that are on our on our tech side because it's important for that space to see and have those communications. So on the vendor side, it's really exciting because it puts us in a space where, there is that collaboration spirit coming through, and we're able to see where we can work together and build together and have that co-opetition. I can't even say it. But then for
We're
lenders,
gonna work on it and we're gonna steal it.
co-op co-opetition. But for the lenders, it's the same thing. It's if you're not figuring out how your vendors are talking to each other than just poning up at a bar together, everything is an opportunity of how we can enhance each other and enhance the experience and work together. And a lot of times there are ways that it can build on top of each other. Even if there's, in some cases, competing thoughts, there should be something where, okay, well, you can do that piece. We don't need to be a part of it, but we can incorporate a different side to this. So, like we were talking about, like layering as a bad thing before, but I also see it as kind of like the thread that can tie everything together. If it nicely stacks on one another versus having portions and figuring out how to connect the dots, I think this is a fantastic way of figuring out how to do that and those conversations that are going to come from there. And then also seeing what's out there, talking through it, and having a space to build off of each other and say what makes sense, what doesn't, what can be better. A lot of times these companies really want that feedback too. It's not just that pitch, it's hearing the feedback of, how this could be better and what actually works for you because as some of us know, tech and sales and ops don't always speak the same language. And to get in a room where you have all those different components working with each other, I think it's just another part of TMC that makes you guys different and what I'm excited about because it just provides opportunity. And that's what we're all looking for is not only just what makes us different, but how we grow and keep enhancing what we have. And that helps us too work with our customers as it has you work with your borrowers. If something new that has, it's not for every person, not for every borrower, but you're able to address some of the issues that might, be a little bit different or a little bit more unique or make you think of something down the road that we need to expand upon. So we're excited.
Awesome. And it is open to the entire industry. So I want to highlight that this isn't a TMC only event. It's like lenders and SaaS providers are all welcome. And I think that it will have a different feel, but at the same time, it'll give people the opportunity to experience what a TMC working group feels like. And one thing that I've thought a lot about as we were creating this event and creating the agenda is that our peers are in the room asking questions about cost, about integration, about AI vendors, and what to avoid. Questions that I would have loved to have had this as when I was a lender, because there are questions that may come up that I didn't even think about yet or ever think
Yeah.
about asking. So being able to hear larger lenders and different type lenders ask questions, I feel like will help make each other better because it is right now selecting technology from a lender's perspective can feel like a very long, tedious process where we're able to give people access to a significant amount of technology in one space where they can start to make decisions on their technology alongside of their peers who can help navigate along the way.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, That's a wrap
That
on the
was
SIP. So,
fast.
Tracy, thank you for bringing your tenure, your candor, and your honesty of your heart to the conversation. It's easy to talk about cost and technology and AI in abstract. It's much harder to talk about it in practicality and real life use. So, a huge thank you to Advantage Partner Solutions for sponsoring today's episode, and Tracy for your time and expertise. And to all of our listeners, thank you for being here. Your engagement is what keeps our community strong. We'll be back next week at 2 p.m. Eastern Time with our AI Council. So,
Ooh.
introducing the AI Council to the LinkedIn world. And if you're not yet registered for the ACTech Summit on August the 12th and the 13th, get there. Tracy will buy you a drink on
Always.
Wednesday night. But until next time, cheers. We'll see you next week on the SIP. Thanks again,
Hi.
Tracy.
Thank you.